I've covered the best QLED TVs that you can buy and the best OLED TVs you can buy. Links are right below the like button. But what if you're looking to go big with your next TV purchase? Surprise, surprise, there are a ton of big screen TV options in the 85-inch and up category. So which one should you get? How do you balance picture quality with screen size when trying to go big? That's exactly what I'm going to help you with right now. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Caleb Dennison, and a couple of years ago, we hit a tipping point. All of a sudden, 85-inch TVs weren't outrageous anymore. In fact, it's the fastest growing screen size among TVs. And now you can go even bigger. How about 88, 98, or even 115 inches? Now, if you've started your research, you already know that there are a lot of options, especially in the 98-inch TV territory. Who knew that you'd ever be able to get a 98-inch monster TV with really good picture quality for $1,600? I mean, I sure didn't see that coming this year, and yet, here we are. Now, I think that the real trick to deciding which big screen TV to buy is in balancing your needs for picture quality with the size of the screen. And of course, budget comes into play. So I'm gonna get into my favorite big screen TV options, but frankly, I think one of the best ways I can help you is by first taking on that conundrum head on. So this is the unavoidable reality. The less expensive a super large screen TV is, the less aggressively awesome the picture quality is gonna be, objectively speaking. The less expensive 98-inch TVs on this list won't have the kind of color accuracy and color volume that the more expensive options offer. They may not have high refresh rate panels. They don't have upscaling and low quality content cleanup skills like the more expensive options. They won't get as bright in HDR highlights. They may have more blooming and halo effect around bright objects on dark backgrounds. And they may not offer subtle color gradations that are as smooth either. So it's a very real fact that buying the less expensive ultra-large TV is gonna mean that you sacrifice some picture quality. But, and this is a huge but, what I am noticing from friends, family, and viewers like you alike is that the larger the screen is, the more forgiving of the picture quality folks become. And actually, I think a big part of the reason why is that the sheer enormity of the picture itself is so impressive that you don't have much attention span left for being super critical about the picture. So long as the picture isn't obviously bad, and none of the TVs on this list have bad picture quality, then the jaw-dropping scale of the TV alone is gonna be exhilarating and just straight up giggle-inducing. What I don't know, though, is how long that bowled over by the sheer enormity of it all effect is gonna last. See, something else I've noticed, again, from hearing from viewers, family, and friends, as well as my own personal experience, is that it's a whole lot easier to get accustomed to having a super huge screen TV than you might think. I'm not saying it stops being impressively large, but the reaction over time slowly changes from being totally aghast, like I literally can't believe I have this in my home, to something more like, yeah, this is really awesome. So I guess I'd say that if you feel like you are someone who is prone to experiencing upgrade-itis to the point that you think you might get antsy in a year or two if you don't get a TV that ticks just the right boxes, well, there's a good chance that you're in a camp of folks for whom buying a slightly smaller screen with better picture quality might be the smarter investment. And let's be real here, if you're upgrading from a 65-inch TV to an 85-inch TV, that is a huge jump in screen real estate. Massive difference. So again, just because you can 98-inch doesn't mean you should. Anyway, I hope that helps guide your decision a little bit. Now, with that in mind, I'm gonna share my top picks for TVs 85 inches and larger. And I'll start by acknowledging that the 85-inch Hisense U6N is very tempting. That TV currently goes for about $1,000. And look, it's a great TV, but it's not gonna make this list because for just $300 more, you can get the Hisense U7N. And the U7N is gonna give you a lot for that extra 300 bucks. Going from the U6N to the Hisense U7N, you upgrade from 600 nits peak brightness, which is fine, but not stunning for HDR, to 1500 nits. And that is a meaningful brightness upgrade, and one that you're definitely gonna notice. You also go from a 60 Hz native panel to a TV capable of 144 Hz refresh rates, and that's gonna make gamers much happier. And that's enough for me to spend $300 more. So for 85 inches, the Hisense U7N is a bang for your buck leader right alongside this next pick, which is the TCL QM7. Now, the TCL here is a couple hundred more than the Hisense U7N, as I write this anyway, but in terms of performance, they are neck and neck. 1500 nits peak brightness, tons of local dimming zones for the mini LED backlight system, quantum dots for color enhancement, 120 Hz native panel that can push to 240 Hz for gaming if you drop the resolution down, tons of bells and whistles. And just like the Hisense, it runs Google TV. Could you drop down to the TCL Q6 series? You sure could. That's actually just $900, $100 less than the Hisense U6N. It doesn't have mini LED backlighting like the Hisense U6N, but it does have full array local dimming, very good brightness, and 120 Hz native panel. It fits in a weird space, but that $900 price tag is mighty fetching. But let's move up in picture quality at the 85-inch size, and naturally, the Hisense U8N and TCL QM8 have to be part of the conversation. They are exceptionally bright TVs. Nobody beats them for brightness. A bit more expensive than the 7 series, but if you're looking for an intensely bright 85-inch TV, the QM8 and the U8N are what you need to be looking at. Now here, we have some more price disparity between these two. The Hisense U8N comes in around $1,700, while the TCL is currently $2,000. Now these prices will drop a bit for the holidays, so if you're buying during the holidays, check the pricing, but I tend to lean toward the Hisense a bit here for the savings, because from a picture quality perspective, it is pretty stinking close. I personally prefer the TCL between the two, but I'm not sure I prefer it $300 more. Now, that was a lot of TCL and Hisense, I know, but they are the value kings right now. You just don't get any more bang for your buck than you do from those two brands. But let's step it up to some real premium 85-inch TVs. I like the Sony Bravia 7 and the Samsung QN90D if you're wanting an edge in picture quality at the 85-inch size. The Bravia 7 is just super clean, and the Samsung QN90D packs in more premium features than any other brand, in my opinion. I think it's a question of how many of those premium features you're actually going to use. The picture quality is stellar on both. Now, they aren't as bright as the Hisense and TCL, but they make up for that with more accurate color, better upscaling and cleanup of low-quality streaming and cable satellite content, and just super clean pictures overall. As pricing goes, you're looking at about $2,300 for the Samsung and about $2,500 for the Sony. Personally, my money is going to the Sony Bravia 7 since we're talking about a $200 difference. But if you're a Samsung fan, the QN90D is right on par with the Sony here. You can't go wrong with either. Though I will say if you like a brighter, more lifted picture, then Samsung does that pretty well. That takes care of the 85s, but before we move on to the 98-inch TVs, there's an 83-inch TV that should not be ignored. And that would be the 2023 Samsung S90C OLED TV. Folks, this thing is down to $2,300, and the S90C is just an absolutely mind-blowingly beautiful TV. I would personally buy this 83-inch OLED before I bought any of the 85-inch QLEDs, but that is very much a personal preference. This 2023 model is going to run out of stock soon, though. In fact, I'm surprised there are any left, and I apologize if there aren't any by the time this video comes out, but it's worth the risk just to turn you on to it in case there are some available. So if OLED is right for you, here's a video to help out with that. then jump on this deal. And hey, I've got shopping links for all these TVs, including this can't miss deal down in the description. Okay, as promised, let's move up to the 98-inch TVs. And of course, I have to start with the one that I think most folks should just jump on. And that is the 98-inch TCL Q65. Yep, the Q6 is back in its 98-inch form, and there is just no better big screen TV deal on the planet. For $1,600, folks. I mean, I could forgive this TV for a lot at that price, but you won't have to. It has great picture quality, as I've already mentioned. Full array local dimming LED backlight system, 120 Hz native panel that you can push to 144 Hz, 2 HDMI 2.1 ports, separate from the eARC port, and if you buy it from Costco, I think you get free installation. I mean, TCL is gonna sell a bunch of these. In fact, I kind of worry about stock a little bit, so maybe jump on this one sooner than later as well. I've got a shopping link for you down below. Again though, if you're looking for a bit of an upgrade in picture quality without going north of $3,000, I think the 98-inch TCL QM7 at about $2,300 is probably the best pick. This is a money spot for me, right? Outstanding performance at a huge size. 1,500 nits of brightness at 98 inches is gonna knock your socks off. And with 1,500 local dimming zones for the mini LED backlight, you're in for a real treat as far as black levels and contrast go. Honestly, if I was gonna buy a 98-inch TV with my money and my budget, this is the one I'm buying. TCL QM7, y'all. You're welcome. Now, stepping it up to truly outrageous performance at mesmerizing screen sizes, we come to the Sony 98-inch X90L, the Hisense 98 UX, and the 98-inch TCL QM8. The Sony is $5,000, the Hisense is $4,500, and the TCL is $4,000. Now, I gotta say, I think the TCL makes the most sense here, but the Hisense is brighter and bolder for just $500 more. And then the Sony X90L seems like an odd inclusion because it isn't mini LED and it doesn't get nearly as bright as the TCL and Hisense. But the Sony X90L's processing is quite a bit better, and that counts for a lot when you're up at the 98-inch size. For a truly refined, professional-looking picture, the Sony X90L, though it doesn't have as boastful specs as the TCL and Hisense do, objectively, it's the superior TV here, which is why even though it's well over a year old now, it can charge that $5,000 price and still sleep very well at night. Okay, so that's my list of the best big screen TVs you can buy, but you know I'm not gonna get out of here without reminding you that the 110-inch Hisense U8N UX and 115-inch TCL QM891G exist, right? I mean, these TVs are just, they're borderline ridiculous, but undeniably awesome. I had a blast with both of them here. The Hisense U8N UX costs about $15,000 right now, and the TCL 115 is $20,000, though I think that we're gonna see that coming down soon. Both are intense, but for my money, if I had that kind of money for a TV, I'd have a tough time missing out on the larger size. Sure, but the Hisense is a slightly better TV in my opinion. But if you think those two are not expensive enough and you wanna be a really big spender, check out the $22,000 98-inch LG M3 OLED. This is a massive, stunning OLED TV. Trust me, you've never seen anything like it. And while you could get the 98-inch G4 OLED from LG, this one has a fun Zero Connect box that wirelessly transmits signals to your TV. So, well, it's just futuristic and fun, and we're in the ludicrous zone now anyway, right? So why not? Thanks for watching, y'all. Don't forget, if the TV you were looking at isn't on this list, that doesn't mean it isn't a good choice. I just think these are the best choices out there and wanted to share them to help whittle down the options. Links for all these are right down below. Thanks for using those because it helps out the channel tremendously. If you like this video and want to see more, click the like button, subscribe so you see all our videos about how to get the most out of the TV that you're about to buy. I'll see you on the next one, and until then, here's 2 other videos I think you should watch. You're welcome.